Hey, this is Mark Gassert. Elevate your profits. And we have a very special guest this evening. And seeing as how Easter's over and some of us are still into Holy Week if you're of a different persuasion, but I'll be right back. So don't go anywhere as we'll bring back our guest. Hey, Mark Gassert, and I am back as promised. And tonight we're going to talk about some things that it affects everybody. You know, what we're talking about here is I don't want to steal the thunder, but we're talking about people and how you monitor your health and your health care and what's that look like for you? What are you doing about it? And tonight I'm going to bring somebody in here and look at that. It's Tom Ginn, see? And what we're going to talk about essentially is, and if you don't mind, Tom, I'm going to put question one up here. But before we get into it, owning your own health, own your own health. And Tom's, why don't you tell us what you and Kathy do right now? I know you're committed to it, and explain, the circles you've been traveling in here in the past couple months.
Well, thanks, Mark. This is being the one interviewed tonight is I'm really nervous and excited at the same time. But my background's pretty diverse, and I've been in business for myself since 1983, and my whole mission is always to serve and help people improve their lives. And it wasn't up until a little over a year ago that I was introduced to a technology. We won't get in that specifically tonight about redox signaling molecules. But I started researching that, started using the products, and started seeing some tremendous benefits. But really, the underlying cause of what I want to talk about tonight is really what's the crisis that we're in this country. And I'm not a medical doctor, and I'm not a scientist, and I'm not a pharmacist or a trainer or whatever, but I have the same concerns that you have, Mark, and my family has, your friends have, is our health.
Right.
And there's some staggering statistics in this country that we can take control of. That's why I call this the program will be launching in May, Own Your Own Health. And what does that really mean? But process of owning your own health is just being informed.
Right.
We have been conditioned to rely on the system in health to manage our health care. And thank God we have Western medicine. I'll put that clear. What I'm going to be saying tonight and sharing with you is not discounting. Thank God if I need surgery, I need something fixed, that we've got surgeons and people that can fix things. And thank God if I need to take a prescription for an emergency or something, and that we have that available. But those aren't the answers. Those aren't being healthy. And we got to really get clear what healthy is and what that means, and take ownership of that. And that's only through doing your own research, being aware. And so that's, the process of owning your own health is don't trust the system by itself. Unfortunately, and I'll just share a few things with you, is that the healthcare system and doctors and insurance and hospitals, they are in the business of non-health. And it's a contradictory statement. They're not in the business for your health. They're not educating you. They're not informing you to the biggest degree. So how do we identify what health is? And I don't have all the answers. I can relate to some of the things, my perspective and things I know, but we're going to be bringing in people in the holistic area or traditional doctors that want to educate and bring a different avenue of what healthcare is. And because here's the crisis that we have. 6 out of 10 Americans, Mark, have a chronic illness.
Yes, yes.
And a chronic illness
Right.
is a manifestation of symptoms that show up and we ask for treatment. Chronic illnesses are the ones that take our lives. That's heart disease, kidney disease, cancer, all those type of things. There's a litany of them. And then 4 out of 10 people have 2 chronic illnesses. And when we look at what's going on in our health system, from our food and our nutrition and the lack of exercise, our environment, it's just a matter of time that we get disease.
Right.
So my whole mission is own your own health, is start taking control of the information. Do your research. Hello, Hannah. Hello, Doug. I saw both of them.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to share that with you. Doug Wing was the first guy to pop on here. You know, he is the son of Hal Wing, you know.
That is it. Yes. Yeah, great man.
Yes,
his father,
absolutely.
Diving into his books now. I'm flying out to Vegas tomorrow, so I'll have that in my satchel to read in between layovers and all that good stuff. But back on to the forum is really to bring people in, to bring a new level of awareness. And we think, well, gee, I've got doctors. I'll just talk about our wellness center. This has been my last 25 years. My wife is a holistic practitioner, and she's
right.
Yeah. So we have a wellness center in our community here. We've got, I'll just tell you some of the things we've done: a medical acupuncturist, nutritionist, naturopaths, different modalities in massage. We just recently brought on a pharmacist that's going to work in the senior community, do education, because they're as we age, we just rely on the doctors, and there's no one really there to help them manage what's really going on.
Right.
There's a big path that's critical people to know. So she's coming into our business.
Tom, what's the average age of people that come to your wellness center?
Well, we have we serve the whole community here locally, but we're on a senior citizen campus here in Oconomowoc. One half of the community is independent living, people in their 55 and older. And then on the other side of the campus is assisted living, memory care, physical therapy, all the things to support the elderly population. So we serve that community, and we serve the general community at whole. So all holistic. And that's been an eye-opener over the last 24 years is understanding what that really means.
When you have, I just have to interject something here. When you were dealing with people of that age spectrum, do you find that, since I know Kathy probably brings up nutrition, so do you find that people, as they get older, and I can say this within my own family, that do you think they're eating healthy? And when I say that, if they're living by themselves, or or another person, I mean, have you encountered that where the diet, the nutrition isn't happening for some of these people?
Mark, I'm not going to even depend it just on that population. If you look at our food that we eat today, there isn't a human being, any American, that's eating healthy. Not unless they search it out, they're eating organic. But any processed food, since the 50s and early 60s, we've transitioned from healthy food, fresh out of the farm, not processed.
Right.
And since the introduction of processed food, our health crisis has escalated with diabetes and heart disease and cancers in our environment. So when it comes to food, I would say probably 98% of the American people have no clue what they're eating and how much damaging it is doing to their long-term health.
That's incredible. And with that, I think all of us are guilty of this, and I told you I was going to share these. To me, healthcare for some people, and I'm going to put up two picks here. Please don't get mad at me, America, but it's like that. That's a pill, and when we have an ache or pain, that's what we're kind of want to do, and we spend a lot of money on those bad boys, those pills, and it's like a cycle. And I'm trying to stay away from pills and all that other fun stuff because it can be addictive. But like you said, you have a symptom, you take a pill, but yeah, are you working at curing it? Or it's kind of like if you sit all day, gee, why are my joints stiff? Well, think about it. Why do you think? The body's meant to move, and we struggle with somebody in our family that likes to sit all day. But that's why, and I know you and I've talked about this. Some people shuffle their feet. They walk hunched over, and they're not doing things that they could be doing, just taking a walk. And all this technology, something that triggered my brain here. I sit a lot during the day, and I hate it, man. It drives me crazy. Because I got to get up. I'm like a cat in a cage. But that's why I enjoy umpiring and getting out and doing things and moving, and because that's what you're supposed to be doing. What do you think about that? I know we're not eating right, but now you talk about the fitness perspective. Do you think Americans exercise as much as they should, or?
Absolutely not. And we're not talking about, competitive exercising
Right.
and working out.
Right.
If you look at the numbers, only 3 out of 10 people are doing any sort of exercises 4 to 5 days a week, a minimum of 20 minutes. It doesn't take an hour, 2 hours of hard aerobic, but just movement is so critical. Most people are sedentary. And that creates we're made to exercise. We're made to move. It's part of our overall well-being. And if we're not exercising, it's just a prescription of ill health.
Right. And I put down here as my second question, what measures should we incorporate concerning our own health? And some of them you've already touched on, but feel free to elaborate.
Well, when you talk to health professionals or people in the health arena, they may have a modality or something they specialize in, whether it be nutrition, diet, exercise, or whatever. But you can break down the elements or the pie of health. But I like just to break it down for this conversation tonight, the 6 elements that I've been learning about in more detail. And you can take some of these elements and break off 4 to 5. You may have 20 elements of health that all work together. But the first one is hydration. People got headaches, they got fogginess, they don't have energy. Most people are not properly hydrated. You start a hydration process, and the way that works, if you weigh 150 pounds, you should be drinking 75 ounces of water a day. Now, we don't see jugging it down all at one time. It's called sipping. There's different ways to take it, because you chug down 15 ounces, next thing you're doing is you're in the latrine, right? And that isn't what we're talking about. You got to have a constant amount of fluid in your body. We are 90% saline or water, and we need to keep that up. So first is hydration. The second is sleep. Sleep is an area that you talk to people. People are tired. They got crazy schedules. They're under stress. They're under a lot of different things. But sleep is very important, because that's where our body does its healing, is when we're asleep, in different cycles. So we're going to have some people talking about the importance of sleep, and if you're not getting what that's going to do long term in the area of health. The other is the area of nutrition. We were just talking about that. I eat vegetables, but where do the vegetables come from? Or you're eating stuff. Well, I eat healthy. Well, people don't know what healthy is, right? So we're going to be talking a little bit about nutrition and supplementation. There's all sorts of angles on that. There's people out there that are strictly vegans. There's some people out there that are talking about meat diet only and all these things. They all have a place somewhere if you become more informed. But we're ignorant when it comes to what healthy food is. And our processed food in this country,
it's not running to Mickey D's, right?
Absolutely.
I'm not we're all guilty. I've done it. You're in a hurry, or
Mark, I'll tell you how disciplined my wife is when it comes to diet. I mean, I'm blessed to have this woman in my life in many ways. Otherwise, I'd probably be 350 pounds of sloth on the couch watching football games all the time. But can you believe this, Mark? In her entire life, she's never eaten a McDonald's product. No French fries.
God bless her.
Never. She won't eat in a fast food restaurant.
Oh,
very seldom
has a question.
Do we? And it would be something we could fix at home, maybe a salad,
right?
Something like that. But no processed foods, no fast foods. And she is so doggone healthy.
Lana does have a question. She says, "What was that ration again, Tom?" I'm trying to think. Is it ration? Yeah, RATION.
I don't know what she's speaking of.
Maybe I'm missing something there. Did you mean something else, Lana? Like percentage, or just retype it in here, and we'll get it up here. And but thank you. But yeah, nutrition, that's a scary one because we've all been there. I've done things stupid on the fly when you're in a hurry, you're at the airport, you're running late. And, I had what are those crazy things you can get at McDonald's? I haven't eaten McDonald's in forever and ever and ever. Yeah, those things really tear up your stomach. I find that I have to go to the bathroom soon after I, partake of anything of that fast food industry. I mean, I'm serious. It's not a pleasant. Here's her question. Water to pound percentage of water you need per pound of weight. You had mentioned
50%. If you're 100 pounds, 50 ounces of fluid. If you're 200 pounds, 100 ounces. At some point, you can only drink so much, but rehydrate. It does amazing things. Your energy goes up, mental clarity goes up, headaches go away. If you're exercising, you need to drink even more.
Right.
You get the toxins flushed out. That's why you get soreness. You don't have enough water in your system.
And funny you mentioned that about and you know what, Lana, I think I am too. I think I drink a lot of water. She says, "Thank you. I'm way below," and that's you, me, and everybody else out there. Even the people that think you're drinking a lot of water, when you break it down, you're not. One of the things I noticed I force myself to do, what I do on weekends, morning, you don't feel like drinking water because you want a cup of coffee, but I will force myself to consume a bunch of water before I hit the field, which is a good thing. And then throughout the course of the day, sometimes you're like, man, I hope this game ends because I got to make a stop at the little boys' room here because, you've been consuming so much water, you're sweating. A lot of things are happening, but I know when I have the right amount of water and I hydrate during the course of the day and when I don't, because you just mentioned something about being stiff or sore, you kind of feel that a little bit more. And it's important. I never really thought about it much, but I guess the older I've gotten, I'm very cognizant about hydration, man. And you can never do it enough.
Yeah. And a lot of people, like you said, drinking coffee first thing in the morning, thinking that's fluid, that's hydration. That's not hydration. That's actually dehydrating coffee.
Right.
And people drink.
That's the worst thing to have. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, coffee, but you got to drink. You got to up your water when you drink coffee.
Right.
Part of it. And then people drink a lot of carbonated beverages. I won't name any specific products, they are not good for you. The amount of sugar and chemicals and everything else.
Now, I will ask, because there are carbonated waters out there. What about those? Are they bad for you too?
It's like anything, just being aware of what's in it, where it's processed. I think that's something we'll bring in. It's like anything else. Know
Right.
what the label says.
Cool. No, that's good.
Yeah.
That's a good point. And I've got to ask you this one. So, we were getting into the questions, and we'll keep going with what you were talking about. So, I asked that question. You mentioned about number 2. We touched on that. How does insurance affect one's health? And I'm going to stay quiet on this because I got my own opinions on it. But if anybody else wants to chime in out there, and let me put it up there again. And this is not an indictment towards insurance companies per se, but when you get into healthcare, it does become an issue. And
first of all, insurance is not healthcare. It's just who's going to take responsibility. What level of risk do you want to take? It has nothing to do with health. And they make decisions of what they're going to cover and not cover in your healthcare. And it's even getting worse. I'm going to share this with you, Mark, because I think it's important. A good friend of mine, retired anesthesiologist, and he was going to come part of our wellness center and play a role in education and that type of thing. And I asked Rick one day, and he says, I says, doctors. He says, I says, they're just working for the system. He says, let me share something with you. First of all, most doctors is he calls MDs medical deities. They think they got all the answers. A lot of them. I'm not saying that to all of them, but he's just painted a picture is that they think they have all the answers. In reality, no one has all the answers. And he says these 3 industries are all in this business to protect themselves financially. The insurance industry, the hospital industry, and the pharmaceutical.
Right.
Everything that we're getting in our healthcare system is about processing you through a system to collect money. That's all it is. And what they're going to cover and not cover. This is a staggering statistic. I'll get it out of this book right here. Healthy Matters, Applying Redox Lifestyle, Dr. Lee Osler. And he's a very significant player in the area that you and I are involved with, Mark.
Right.
But think about this. Who is managing your healthcare? Over the last 20 years, medical doctors and the health professionals have been a straight line, stagnant growth. As a population grows, you think we'd have more and more doctors, right? More and more dentists, more and more nurses, more and more people that would help us in our healthcare. It's been flatlined. Here's the staggering statistic, and I would encourage people just to be aware of this. In the last 20 years, it's been 3,500% more administrators than healthcare professionals. Who's managing your healthcare? When you go to the doctor, what do those systems tell the doctor to do? What procedures are they authorized to do? All that is being controlled by somebody else. It's not the doctor anymore. It's controlled by pharma, insurance, and the hospital. And they determine what level of healthcare you're going to get. And it breaks down to economics. So it has nothing to do with health. Absolutely nothing with health. Health is a prescription. We take care of ourselves. It's our responsibility to do the lifestyle necessary that promotes health, that will push off chronic illnesses. Right. Most of our chronic illnesses can be avoided. And stress is the number one reason for chronic illness in this country.
And I have to insert something. Lana shared with us. She said health insurance entices people to go to doctors rather than changing their lifestyles. So that's kind of well said, and it goes back to when you choose that route, this is what you're dealing with. I'm sorry, I'm going to show it again, but yeah, if you don't want to change your lifestyle, that you're going to be popping pills. And I can say that from my own family. I shared with you earlier, Tom. I couldn't keep up with my dad lived to be 95, but I've never seen a man take so many pills. I couldn't keep up with him, and I had to spend some time with him and keep up with, take this one on this hour and take it. I'm like, holy, how do you keep up with this stuff? It's driving me crazy. But
yeah. With regards to that, a lot of people say I'm healthy, and okay, great. Well, you're healthy. What I'm doing great. Yeah, I'm doing healthy. I take gabapentin. I do something for my arthritis. I'm taking ibuprofen. You're not healthy when you're taking those things. So a lot of people have a misconception. Hi, AB, how you doing,
AB
buddy?
is saying, how about health share? What about that?
It has nothing to do with health, but it has to do with who's going to pay the responsibility of any medical procedure or encounter. But it's a very economic way if you're looking to reduce cost. People say, well, being healthy, getting organic foods is expensive. I tell you what, being unhealthy is more expensive.
Right.
Because you could only be one incident away from bankruptcy in this country.
Right.
Even with insurance, they're not going to cover everything.
Oh man.
And no, I was in the insurance industry, but their business is not to pay. Well, that's their business.
Since you're mentioning, I pulled up some information here, and this doesn't come from Mark, but how does insurance contribute to the price of drugs? I found this interesting as you look and search, and not just on Google, but it said health insurance companies approve treatments. They set co-pays, they price out with the PBMs, and I'll tell you what a PBM is then, and how much patients pay for drugs. Often they decide coverage options based on what maximizes company profits. Kind of what you're talking about, Tom.
Yeah. And I would just say, to address that, is ask for full disclosure what cost of everything that you're getting.
Right.
There's resources. They don't show it for a reason. But there's a lot of legislation. There's a lot of movement going on for full disclosure. What's the real cost? And I think that's a responsibility of the consumer, and anything else is ask those hard questions. And if you don't get the answers, find somebody else to do business with. That's my position. So.
And I want to put a disclaimer. We're not slamming insurance companies. There are some good ones out there. I'm not saying they're all this evil poised viper. I'm not going to say that and just broad brush it. But by the way, a PBM, in case someone asks me, is a pharmacy benefit manager. That's what a PBM is. So
yeah.
But
and that goes back to what we were talking about: 3,500 administrators for every health practitioner.
Right.
Who's pulling the strings? Who's making all the decisions?
Right.
And you try to go outside as a consumer or as a patient or as somebody concerned about the health, you get nothing but resistance. And so guess what? People, okay, don't fight back. Don't ask the questions. Don't research. They don't. So my mission is to wake people up that your health is your responsibility. No one but you can make those decisions for your health. I want to get political about all the stuff that's going on.
No.
But in reality, everybody has the right to make their own decision what they want to do for them. That includes doing nothing. Right. That's your decision. And if you want to sit around and eat Cheetos and Mountain Dew, watch the football games all weekend, not get out and exercise.
Did you have to say Mountain Dew? I don't know the last time I had a soft drink. Oh God, Mountain Dew. Or I'm on a diet. Could I have some cheesecake and a Diet Coke? That negates the fact that I'm eating cheesecake. I'm sorry. I'm just having a little fun here with Tom.
Yeah, and insurance is important. You have insurance on your cars to mitigate risk.
Sure.
No different. If you had all the money in the world, you wouldn't need insurance because you'd be able to pay the
Right.
freight was associated with that risk. So insurance has nothing to do with health. It has to do with everything with what degree of the responsibility do you want to take?
Right.
And if
That's
without it, we know how expensive that is, right?
Oh man, this could be, we could really go crazy on this, but I don't want to. That's a great point about answering that question on how does insurance affect one's health. I think you defined it, and then I'll throw this one out there, and I know everybody's got their variation of theme about Big Pharma, who it is, and I'm not going to mention names here, but what is the deal, and what's their mission? And who really answers to them, and who do they answer to? There's another
Not a
one.
lot. Yeah, there's agencies and such. I won't get into all that.
Sure.
But in reality, the farmers, and this from my perspective only, and I'm they're in the business not to cure anything, but to mask a symptom with a pharmaceutical. It's not getting to the root of the cause that created that. And what caused a condition of a rogue cell.
There's that pharmaceutical. I'm sorry. It kind of fell in there.
Let's say we got a rogue cell, it's the big C word, not.
Right.
How did that happen? It's lifestyle that contribute to a lot of people say it's genetic. Yes and no, but you got to be aware of what causes blood pressure issues, what causes issues about diabetes, obesity, all these things, arthritis, mental issues, right? All these things. The pharmaceutical industry has something that could mask the problem, but it isn't getting you healthy. You could avoid it, a lot of this with a lifestyle. That's the message I want to bring out with this forum. What can you do? I'm 72, right? So I've had a lifestyle that got to me where I'm at. Now I can still improve where I'm at and moving forward. If I'm 25, I would think about what can I do not to just go to a nursing home. I can encourage anybody that want to look at their future, their health, go into a nursing home.
Yes.
That is your destiny. And biggest majority of those people don't need to be there if they had proper health lifestyle in their life. I'm convinced.
So Tom, I'm just going to throw these up again. So 1 was hydration, 2 was sleep.
Yep.
3 was nutrition. So
that's food, supplements, that whole realm.
Right.
The building
We're talking about a cumulative of eating well, taking supplements, or
and knowing what supplements are and are not.
Right.
Finding the highest quality supplements you can take.
I guess you're not talking about the ones you see at some of these self-serve gas stations where you can buy these cumulative energy blasts or whatever, Yeah. Anyway, I'm digressing. I'm sorry. But what is number 4? Do you have that for us? Excuse me. Exercise. Now there's a sage idea. Exercise. That's cool.
Yeah. Physical activity eliminates a lot of problems.
Speaking of exercise, my wife and I went dancing this weekend. You know what I marvel at? There is a lady there. I think she's either 90 or 92, and you should see her dance and her posture. And I'm looking at her and I'm saying, man, I want that to be me. And, now she can't do something like a 20-something, but
she's not doing backflips or anything?
No, doesn't do that. But I'll just put up 4 here. It's really neat to see that, and she's having fun in the process, but she's being mobile and not sedentary. And I'm looking at her going, take an average person, because to me she's not average, being with all of us, and that's kind of neat that she's doing what she's doing. So
Yeah, and if you looked at her age and tracked her what she ate when she was younger, she didn't have processed foods.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
until
sure at that age she probably didn't, and right.
but yeah, exercise is so important.
So are you telling me, and I'm not mentioning names here, are you telling me those guys with the golden arches is well, they do have salads now, but other than that, I mean, the rest of that stuff isn't good for you, is it?
I would say no. Tastes good, but it's not good for you.
Yeah, gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's all the controversy of vegan and beef and all this, but it's really being informed, making decisions for your own health, what you put in your body
Right.
and where it comes from and all those things.
Some people just eat salad, or fish, and I'm not knocking that. And then some people have what I call a balanced blend. They do incorporate some meat products, but they don't go overboard. They're not eating steak every other night or something.
Yeah.
That's not good for you either. But
in an area that a lot of people don't even think it affects our health is what's your mental disposition about health? Are you positive about health? Well, yeah, I'm really positive about my health, but are you exercising? That's a mental game. You're making decisions about health, and science already knows this. I've done some research in the past when I was in this, because I'm a personal development coach and
right.
understanding how the mind operates at a subconscious level, and we hear about miracles.
Are you talking about like mindset? Do you think that helps people, Tom, to be positive, have a positive outlook on things? And I hear people say, yeah, exercise, eat right, and then I die.
No. We see it all the time when people get a diagnosis. They tell them get your personal affairs in order. That's not a good prognosis, is it?
No.
And suddenly 3 months later or 6 months, they give them 18 months or whatever. In 18 months, they go back to the doctor and their bill of health is clean. The doctors don't understand what it is, but science does. Is what we think about directly affects all the way down to the cellular level our neurochemistry. And they've done research on it. So a person is negative about their health. They think they're doomed. They don't have any hope about health, just negativity about health in general. They can see the neurochemistry. It's destroying the cell.
Right.
Then that same person, they change their thinking process, do some exercises around changing their language, their mental language, and they see those same cells, neurochemistry kick in to make that cell healthy. So you hear people all the time, well, I'm getting old. Guess what happens? You start taking on the behavior of the people you see are old. You act old, you talk old, you do things that those old people are not doing. Right? So your mentalness about your health and your outlook on health directly will impact the quality of that health that you have.
Wow.
Not just a feel-good thing about health. So having a good mental attitude about health and what that means is important.
Yeah. Since we're talking about health, and I don't know if you're aware of this, but Sean Litvak.
I saw Sean's post. I didn't realize.
Yes, and I'm just going to mention it. 2-month anniversary of having open heart surgery, a quintuple bypass. So I'll have to ask him about that one day. We need to probably have Sean come on here and talk about health and what happened to him and his story. I don't want to do it right now because he's still, resting, getting better. But that is awesome that everything worked out.
The miracle of our Western medicine to go in and do something
and that's why I brought that up, because you did allude to, hey, I'm so grateful that there are doctors that can do certain things from this perspective. But my brother had an aneurysm.
I would just throw the question comes back, knowing that he had that condition, or anybody out there. I mean, the numbers, heart disease is not it's number one. Is number one behind in our country. So, but what could a person have done in their lifetime to avoid that situation?
Right.
A lot of things. So what would our society, what would the medical industry look like if people were healthy? Do you think your costs would go down?
Well, they should. Yeah.
Yeah. So stress is the number one reason for chronic illness. So you got to manage stress, and you get your insurance. You're writing your insurance premium out, and you get stressed over it. What is that doing for you? You get the medical bill. Oh my God, I got a $10,000 deductible. See, that's an interesting thing. You pay $15,000, $20,000 a year if you don't have coverage by your employer, or if you do a copay. You say you're out there, an independent business guy or gal, and you're paying 15 to 20 grand for your family for insurance. So I got covered if I get sick. No, you got $20,000 deductible before they pick anything up. Yeah, that's a little stressful in itself, isn't it? So the catastrophic, it may keep you from losing your house for 5 years, but you eventually may have to sell your house and all your assets to get that great medical care
Right.
that the system has. So,
hey Tom, so we hit on the four of, and I've got it holding on four. So we talked about hydration, sleep, nutrition, exercise. So what is number 5?
Let's see, we did mental.
Okay, yeah, I put up mindset. That's right. My bad. Yep.
And then that comes into the discipline that's been recognized probably the greatest medical and science breakthrough of the 21st century. Redox signaling, where this plays in this, it makes everything else we do work more efficiently. You can take the best diet in the world, the best food, the cleanest, no GMOs, no pesticides, everything.
Right.
Super clean, super nutrition. But if you don't have healthy cells, it doesn't matter. It's what you're able to absorb. So understanding some of the other sciences, stem cell that's out there, RNF2 therapies, redox signaling, where all these high tech, this is biochemistry. This is what we operate on, is
right.
Biochemistry. And if you can get those biochemistry elements to work more efficiently at the cellular level, you're going to be healthier. Healthy cells, healthy life. Plain and simple. That's where disease is, non-healthy cells.
Right.
And what's causing them not to be healthy is the question.
So how about number 6? Where do we get? What do we get for
that was
6?
number 6, Mark. The infusion of taking all these things and understanding where the real foundation of our health is. It's at the cellular level. And what can we do to support it to be healthier? There isn't a vitamin that increases redox signaling molecules. There's none. There is none. So how do you replace what your body naturally makes? A company that has developed a technology that does exactly what your body does they're saying is the greatest medical breakthrough of all time, possibly. It affects our health down to DNA level. I'm talking a little science stuff here, but it's not another deal. It's not a vitamin C. It's not a vitamin E. It's not a vitamin B12 or anything.
Right.
Those are all important. But if this is totally something, is healthy cells. Understanding what that means and how do you keep them healthy, or how do you bring them up to a more optimum health level?
Right.
Without that, nothing matters after that.
And I'm just going to ask, since you and Kathy have your own intermodality set of healthcare, your version of it, and I'm not making fun of it, have you, when you have patients or clients come to you, have you have any positive outcomes for some of these people that said, hey, I'm interested in increasing my cellular level. I want healthy cells. What can I do? Have some people say 3-4 months down the road, have you seen any positive outcomes with
100%?
Okay.
seriously. And it's through a
And
process.
what do they notice about themselves? I mean,
Well, everybody comes in with some sort of concern about their health. Energies, I'm achy, I'm sore, I've got this condition, I got blood pressure, I've
inflammation,
got
yeah.
all this. And they're looking the same way they look at the medical industry. Give me a pill so that goes away. It doesn't go away. So
like
what happens is
fix, yeah.
it took you 40 years to get to the state you're in health-wise. Some things you got to take. It's always bring this question: how long is a piece of string? It's relative to your lifestyle and what you've been doing to unwind it, how to get it back to health. Some things may happen quickly, other things take a little bit longer. But I just speak for myself, Mark. The only major health thing I have is chronic arthritic knees. It was getting so bad, Mark, I couldn't walk downstairs without holding onto the rail, think I was going to fall, walking downhill, taking 1,000 milligrams of ibuprofen. This was going back 3 years ago, 4 years ago, whenever CBD became legal. I did a lot of research and put CBD in our practice, and it had a medical grade product that's phenomenal. And it relieved discomfort, but I always had discomfort. And when I started using what's in this blue bottle, within a few months, I have no more chronic pain. Discomfort gone. Now, what's the difference is I noticed some things right away. My energy's up, my cognitive. People, you see old people walking around shuffling or holding, that's neuropathy. I'm starting to get neuropathy, which means your nerves you don't have to have numbness and pain or anything to be neuropathy. As your nerves start failing, your body's saying, wait a minute, you got to walk a little slower. It's communicating. And that's people shuffling around. And then if they have a health concern, such as something with blood sugar, that creates a bigger problem with neuropathy. And guess what? I got more energy than I did when I was 35, Mark, seriously. And other things have been improving in my health as well. Things that just come with old age. I call, like my doctor says, as we age, our body gets crustaceans growing on it, and they're going away, so a lot of things are happening.
Well, good.
Yeah. And so that's my mission as well, is to introduce people to this. But it's not just one thing. I mean, you could take this product by itself. If you don't change some of those other things, you'll get an improvement, but you won't get the results you really desire, called health. You can't continue eating Cheetos and soda pop and no exercise and expect to get well because you're taking something that's phenomenal. It's still got to look at everything. Where do all these 6 elements come together? And how to be aware. How do you research what is a good nutritional product? Keep in mind, a lot of people want to sell a product just because they want to sell a product. But what do you know about their product? Takes a little bit of research.
So, Tom, I'm just going to knock these out. So, number 1, everybody, is hydration. These are things we all know about. Sleep. Yeah. I'd like to tell somebody else in my family about sleep. Stop going to bed at 4 a.m. or whatever. Nutrition. Oops. How'd that get in there? Oops. Number 4, exercise. And then we talked about 5 is the mindset, right?
Having a healthy mind thinking.
Right. But my all-time favorite here is the cellular health, healthy cells. How do you get there? So,
yeah.
And Tom, can I ask a question here? You're going to start doing this platform or program when? Is it next Wednesday or?
I will be doing it starting May 11th. I'm heading to a conference tomorrow to Las Vegas and learn more about this amazing technology, redox molecules. The first day is going to be all science, get to meet with all the PhDs and scientists and let them throw all the science at me and It just will validate what I don't know. Okay.
And what are you going to call your owning your own health, or what's the name of this?
Own your own health. And in that platform, I'm bringing every walk of life that somebody has some stories or science or methodologies or to improve health. And just through bringing good quality people in, validated information, credible people, I'll be bringing into our audience is some very significant people on the medical advisory board of this company. They will come on and talk. These are brilliant people. These are people that stepped outside the box. They stepped outside the box, and they don't regret it. And they're out. They have the same mission that I do and you do, is helping people become more aware of health.
What will they talk about?
Each one of them comes with a different background. You know, some will be former surgeons, anesthesiologists, and what they've noticed with redox signaling, how they use it in their practice. They'll talk about the health around it. You know, chiropractors, nutritionists, you name it. We got a wide, very broad brushed medical advisory board with the company. Plus some of the other people that are behind the scenes that have PhDs and that type of stuff. So
are you telling me that people that have, you know, medical professionals, I mean, like doctors, dentists, guys that are specialists, you know, that they are now implementing this redox molecules, they're into this? Is that what you're saying?
As they become aware, I'll always plant this. If any doctor that's been in medical school in the last 10 years, they're being taught the science of what redox signaling molecules at a cellular level, what they do. But a lot of them aren't even aware that there is a product that's been developed to supplement it. So when they find that out, they're going, holy moly. They do their, a good doctor does their due diligence. They will research the science. They won't listen just to a Tom Ginn or Mark. They will say, wait a minute, there's something about this. Let me look. When they do, they're all in. Right. Because those are the ones that really want to make a difference. They want to practice medicine. They want to guide people through a health process. They've moved out of the system. You're in the system. Oh no, you can't even, like there's one gal we interviewed about breathing, and she left a physical therapist environment because they wouldn't let her exercise.
I remember that. Yeah. With the straw and yeah.
Exactly. They wouldn't let it because it didn't fit their definition of treatment, right, even though it had a benefit. So these people that are looking at this are fed up with the system, and they want to go out and make a difference, work, take their education, their science, and do no harm, those type of things. And they make them an adjunct to what they're doing, an add-in to support what they're doing. If they're a nutritionist, they recognize no matter how good the nutrition they're helping their clients with, they can put this element in. It just improves that modality is the best way to put it. If you're a chiropractor, there's just besides cracking bones, how do you get a person to relax? How do you deal with the discomfort of after a treatment so that people will come back? So if you get pain, lots of people say, I'm done. I'm not coming back for that crack in my neck again, right? I mean, you won't put me in a chiropractor. I had a neck injury playing football. Cracking my neck is the last place, even though they might not hurt me. But in my mind says, I'm not going to get my neck cracked again. No way. There's no way you put me in a chiropractor's office for my neck. It's not going to happen. So, but anyway, when they recognize where they can put this in to help their people, their patients, their clients become healthier, they're all in. This is a big movement. This is not just, sell my vitamin business. Okay. This is something more significant than that.
That's incredible.
People do the research.
Well, Tom, I think you touched on all cylinders here, and you can see I have it scrolling here. It will take place May 11th. Own Your Own Health. It's a new platform. Tom Ginn. I know you're going. Eastern. Excuse me.
At this point, it's going to be 1 p.m. Eastern every Wednesday.
Okay. 1 p.m. I'll put
And
that
I have a
on
call out there. Anybody's listening to this that wants to know more about any health professionally, whether a holistic approach or traditional Western medicine doctors and that want to know more about this, reach out to me and I can get you all the information you need, link you up with people in the company to answer those questions, because this is a very significant thing. And we're here to really make a difference. The company's ethos is to make a difference for humanity. And if we can improve people's health in a significant way through education, it's not just a product, just like Dr. Lee Osler, a dentist, and how he's working with dentists, having dentists put redox molecules into their practice and what that does for the overall systemic health at the gum level. Healthy Matters, how you take all what we've been talking about, how this all comes together, but the foundation of making it work is the redox signaling.
Gotcha.
The more efficient your cells are, the more efficient everything else in your body works. Plain and simple. So anybody out there, reach out to us. We'd be glad to get your questions answered.
And I've got the ticker running here, and there's the time, 1 p.m., May 11th. So Own Your Own Health, Tom Ginn. And I'm sure he'll bring some people in that'll make you think.
Already got people lined up, Mark. So there's some pretty significant people coming in to talk and educate and inform. And that's all we're here to do, right, Mark? Elevate your profits.
Right.
You know, our whole platform's about just bringing a new level of awareness, what it takes to win in business.
Yeah. Funny you should mention that. It's not all just about dollars and cents. I think your health is the primo investment that one should make. And since, you know, I'm now looking at cellular health, I really believe that's your true wealth, because without that, you can't do all these other things and you know, excel in your business, personal life, professional life. I'm sorry, you know. Even if you're an athlete, you know, you need to take a look at this. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
If it can help an old guy like me behind the plate and I notice a difference, you know, there's got to be something to it.
Absolutely. And yeah, so with that, Mark, that's the reason I decided to do this, not because I'm some sort of expert. I just have a passion to help people bring a new level of awareness. Right. As I learn, I want to share. If I apply something in my life and I have a benefit from it, I'm going to share it. What a person does with it after that, it's up to them. But I have a mission to help people. That's always been my mission, Mark.
Right. And that's a good one, you know, and it all goes back to service to others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth. And that's what it's all about. So, you know, Tom, I really don't have any more questions, and we are at the top of the hour. So, I think we've done what we're supposed to do here this evening. Yeah. And, you know, this will get played and hopefully it gets shared for those of you that were here this evening. You know, thank you very much. Mr. Doug Wing, man, he was numero uno. And Lona, thank you very much for all your questions, man. Always good to hear. And I forgot, AB, the man with the plan. You know, he is a businessman and he knows about insurance too. He could probably tell us a thing or two about that during his days.
Yeah,
still is.
His significant uses this in a very significant way. Pretty good story there about her health, even though she's not part of our company, but she's a consumer of the product.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, there's going to be it's going to be as common as anything else. People will be seeking it out when the word, through education, and people start sharing their stories, what's happened to their overall quality of life and health. The word will get out, and we're in a great place to be in that, as a business, to be in that growth phase of a company. So
right, absolutely. Well, that's all I have, sir. I guess we need to back this thing on down here, and This was Mark Gassert, Tom Ginn, Elevate Your Profits. And Elevate Your Profits is more than what you think about. So stick around. There'll be some other things coming up here. And you guys that are listening to this, I know some of you are, that stand behind home plate. I'm going to get you on this program. Some of you are shy, but we need to get you on here and talk about your journey and what you do, and recovery. That's the one last thing I'm going to close on. That's important. How you recover, how your body recovers. I never used to think about it till you get older, and it's important. And the things that you mentioned earlier here about staying hydrated is paramount to recovery.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, that's all I got, Tom. Unless you want to tell us anything else, it's scrolling down there, so everybody's going to know about this.
No, just to encourage people to join us, see what we're talking about, share it out, take the information. Knowledge has no value until you put it
Right.
forward. If you're concerned about your health, take it seriously. It's not only affecting you, but it's affecting your family. How that has impacted your family being not healthy. How does that affect your children, your wife, having to take care of you? I mean, it goes beyond just the personal health. It's far reaching. If we can improve that as Americans, we're going to be a whole lot better off in life. So
absolutely. Well, Tom, I'm going to back it on down.
You got it, my friend.
Tell everybody good evening. Enjoy the rest of your evening with your family, folks. And yes, if you want to know more about what we're talking about, reach out to Tom, reach out to myself, and we can get into about cellular health. And I'll leave you with this thought. Cellular health truly is your wealth. So you need to check it out.